topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
Tennessee, welcome to another Ask the Experts radio show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Hey, we have got an incredible show for you for the next 25 minutes. I got to tell you, I never realized until I got involved with Medicare how important a topic this is. And the second thing is, you are writing us, telling us, why aren't you having a Medicare show? And to be honest with you, we had no openings, but we got so many of your letters. I said, you know what? We've just got to add another hour to the show. And we have got to find the top agents. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. I'm introducing you to Randy Hall. I love the name of his company. It's Mr. Nice Guy Medicare Advisor. But what I hope that you get out of this show is you've got to have an agent. And it doesn't cost you anything. Don't fall for those commercials on TV with the celebrities. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to bring Randy Hall on, who's on vacation. Good afternoon, Randy.
Live from the Gulf of America. Randy
I love the name.
Doing Mr. Nice Guy, Medicare Advisor. Here I am. No, I wasn't going to skip July. You know, why would I skip July?
This is July.
The people need me.
And guess what happens in 3 months?
Yeah, well, it's open enrollment coming at you, or annual enrollment is coming up very swiftly. Sometime in September, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan or a Part D drug plan, you will get your annual notice of change. And that's when you and everybody else who's on Medicare plans will find out what your changes are for 2027. So it goes by so fast, Steve. It's kind of like Christmas when you're a parent. Every year comes faster and faster. When you're an agent, it feels like you just ended one year and the next year's on top of you. So here we go. So I'm getting some vacation in while I can.
Oh my God, because you're going to get slammed in October.
I'm used to it.
December.
You know, it's like what we sign up for. It's like being an accountant, say in January, February, March, April. You just know what you're in for.
Well, I got to tell you, speaking of slammed, we get slammed when people see your show is coming on.
Woo.
We have an older audience here. I mean, Medicare, estate planning, those are all hearing loss. Those are all top shows of ours. So we've got so many new people. Randy, tell people about your company.
So Mr. Nice Guy Medicare Advisor, that's me, Randy W. Hall. We have been doing the Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplements for 17 years now, going back to 2010. It's when we started as an independent brokerage. And what that means is we are not working for any particular company, Steve. We are working for you, the client. I'm able to represent all the different Medicare Advantage plans in Tennessee and also a multitude, over a dozen Medicare supplement companies. And basically what I'm like a one-stop shop. People deal with me and I'm like a matchmaker. I try to match people up, given their circumstances, for the best plan for them. And in turn, the people don't pay me. That's the glory of it. The companies pay me, and they all pay me the same for the most part. So I'm not biased by anything other than what's best for each person. And if you look me up on Google and look up my Google business reviews, and you'll see I have 5 stars, and I don't pay people for that. People just do it out of the kindness of their own heart. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I got to tell people, I just went on Medicare, and I was sharing with Randy that I had cataract surgery yesterday. And I got to tell you, I love Medicare. I think it's the greatest thing on earth. We pay into Medicare. Thank God it is as good as it is. There's always problems. But one thing I just want to make sure that people understand, when they go with you, you're not married to one company.
Never.
Whereas if they call a company up from, like, say, a commercial, you're only going to get what they offer.
Well, see, there's different perspectives, I guess you could say. When you're dealing with an independent broker who's got integrity and is looking out for you, basically we shop for you, or help you figure out the best situation for you. If you call a company, I'm not going to name any because I guess I'm not supposed to. But if you call a company directly, that's all they can do is that company. They may have a couple options within that company, but that's all they can do. If you call, if those people on those helplines, they don't care what you get necessarily. Their whole thing is to sign you up for anything, and they just care about the commissions. So, and the people who call you on the phone, same idea. I was in New York recently, Steve-O, for my birthday in early July. And you ever go to New York and you see those street vendors?
Yes, a lot of them.
Yeah, so you go to New York, say you go to Chinatown or one of those types of places, and they got those high pressure street vendors out on the corner. It's very analogous to those robocallers who call you on the phone, and they're like, "Oh, look at my plan over here.
Yes.
Look at this plan over here. It's got this." Like they don't give a crap about you. They just want to make a sale. And odds are, if you ever had to track that person down for anything and hold them accountable for anything they said, good luck. It probably would never happen. People like me, we are entrenched in our community. Our reputation is everything to us. So we're going to do everything in our power to give you a good experience. And if you ever have a problem with the company, we're kind of like the first liaison of customer service. If we can't fix it directly, we're going to help you get to the person who can fix it. So that's what a good agent does. We help make your life easier. And every year when these things change, if you want an unbiased opinion, that's what we're supposed to give, is an unbiased opinion. Hey, Steve, maybe you could do a little better with this plan this year, kind of thing. Or, hey, Steve, you got the best plan already. You might want to keep this one. And it is coming from a place of informed knowledge, I guess is the best way of saying it. Because there is a lot of education every year that an agent has to go through. We have to be certified for every Medicare Advantage company we offer.
Well, I got to tell you, I have been dying to tell you something.
Uh-oh.
And I could have just emailed you, but I wanted to get your actual response when I tell you this.
Okay.
I'm not even going to tell you who the company was. We had a company that one of their agents wanted to do a show with us, and they turned it down.
Really?
We don't do stuff like that.
They're too good for you?
Listen what they did, this company. They went to your past shows.
Oh, really?
And heard your shows. Called me back and said, Are all the shows like that? I think they listened to 2 of your shows.
Nice. I
And
hope
I
that's
said,
good.
that's, this is what we do. We educate people. They said, I got to tell you, and I can't take them because we don't have any openings, which was because they wanted the whole country.
Oh, well, yeah.
But that's fine, though. They said, the experts you have in that Tennessee area, really knows his stuff.
Well, man, you made my day.
You up and down, Randy.
Man, no, that makes me feel good that a company would actually say that.
Major. And
they don't blow smoke. Usually they're looking to poke holes.
Exactly. And this was their agency. It's their agency's job to, make sure whatever advertising they do, that it's top line. But they said they did not want to do a show like ours. Doesn't matter because we didn't have an opening, but they actually went to the trouble and watched your show on YouTube, and they were blown away. And they said, God, his numbers for small Tennessee, because they're used to national numbers. They were impressed. But what the information that you give, Randy, they complimented you up and down.
Well, thank you. And I hope that the people out there are getting something from this. Other than that, bald guy's crazy. You can't see how bald I am today. I'm wearing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm in Tampa Bay Buccaneers country, guys. So when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
You think I can say anything about baldness?
You're my bald brother, Steve-O.
So, yeah. So listen, because I was just telling you before the show, a lot of people are asking about these GLP-1. And before we start, I don't mind admitting it. I'm on Ozempic, been on it for about a year. And I just read an article. You're going to laugh when I say this. They're finding out that Ozempic might be causing baldness. Better not take it anymore.
Like, closing the barn door after the horse escaped.
Yeah.
In our case.
Exactly. I thought that was funny. So, Randy, explain to people how this is going to work.
Well, so this GLP-1 program is in its infancy. It started this month, 1st of July. And basically, there's 3 different ones. You can research on Google which ones those are. And if you're on Medicare, it's capped at $50 for those particular ones, right? And it has nothing to do with your Part D drug plan.
Right.
So the reason I say that is because the Part D drug plan has out-of-pocket maximums of $2,100 if drugs are on that formulary, right? So these drugs are outside of that purview. Hopefully I'm not using too many big words, but these drugs are outside of that. They're its own thing, but they are capped at $50.
Right.
And as you probably know, if you've been on it a year, it's normally hundreds of dollars out of your own pocket.
Hundreds, thousands. It's $1,000 a month.
So $50 a month is pretty stout. That's real good. Now there are some baseline ways to qualify for it. Some of them have to do with body mass index. Some of them have to do with certain conditions. Diabetes is always one. So if you want to get into the weeds on how you qualify, I would recommend going on the websites and looking at what those particular things are. And I think I warned against this last month. Don't expect it to be a seamless, fun experience, because whenever something's new, it's like you got to work out the bugs. And if you're like first through the gate, you don't want to get left behind. But a lot of times those pioneers, the first people through the gates, they find a lot more problems than the people who might wait a minute and kind of see where it goes. But it is an 18-month pilot program, so I guess you can't wait too long. But if you're in, say your body mass index is 35% or higher, you will definitely qualify for that. I think it's 25%, and then some other conditions combined with it qualify you to get that $50 a month price. So does that kind of answer the question?
Absolutely. Now, do they go through their doctor or would they go
Yes.
through you?
No, they wouldn't. An agent probably wouldn't be able to do much for them. They're going to have to involve their doctor because they're the ones they're kind of the gatekeepers. The only thing we could really do is educate them. We can't. So if somebody's our client, we can do a lot for them if it's going through the insurance, right? But if they're really not involving the insurance, which they're usually not, then by law, we literally can't get involved, too much. We can point them in the right direction. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Randy, I got so many questions here. I got to get this one in.
Sure.
There's a lot of people out there in the age demographics we're talking about. They get so much junk mail, especially around this time. And they, like me, I toss it. By having an agent, guess what? Maybe you've got Medicare Advantage and your zip code is no longer going to be provided for you. And if you don't have an agent, you're not going to know that.
Right. No. So are you talking about plans leaving service areas?
Yes.
That kind of thing. So last year, I've been doing this since 2010. And last year was the first year I'd ever seen plans exiting markets en masse, like in a big way. You're talking millions of people, especially in Minnesota. There was a major network in Minnesota that just they were covering about a third of the state, and they just called it quits. So what that does is it gives you a special enrollment period to either get a Medicare supplement, or you have to get another Medicare Advantage plan before the first of the year, right? Well, if you don't know that and you do nothing, what they end up doing is putting you back on original Medicare with no drug plan. So if you have an agent, what we do, my clients who were affected by plan exits, I was calling them October 1st, the first week of October, to let them know, hey, Miss Smith, your plan isn't going to be available next year. So even if you wanted to keep it, you can't. And then, I would explain to them what I just told you now. And, people appreciate that. That way they're not blindsided. And they know you're looking out for them, which, if you're their agent, you really should. So.
There's I guess it's a viewer who said they're turning 65 soon.
Yes.
And somebody at their doctor's office was telling them to get an Advantage plan, or not to get an Advantage plan, but to go with Medicare supplement. What would you say to that person, Randy?
Well, here's my problem with it. If I was giving somebody medical advice without a medical license, that wouldn't be good. That would be a bad situation, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, why
Absolutely.
would you do that? If you work at a doctor's office and you don't have an insurance license and you're given insurance information, isn't that sort of the same thing?
Exactly.
And the reason, and I'll tell you why they're probably saying that. Okay, there's two ways you can go. You can have original Medicare be primary, and then you can buy a supplement or a Medigap to fill in the gaps of that, or you can get a Medicare Advantage plan. Okay, doctor's offices and the people who work at doctor's offices in particular know that Medicare is way easier to deal with. They pay claims really fast, usually automatically, and they don't have to fight or do anything special. And if Medicare pays, the supplement automatically pays after that. They like that. That's a sure thing. The reason they don't always like Advantage plans is sometimes they will ask for extra documentation. They won't always pay straight away. So there's a little delay in what they get, or they have to do more work to get paid, and they don't like that. But if you're a consumer, I will say this. Medicare Advantage, you have Medicare Advantage, Steve, so you've experienced it. Medicare Advantage is better than almost any major medical plan you've ever had.
Absolutely.
Is it perfect? No. Does it have limitations? Do you have to jump through a few more hoops sometimes? Sometimes. My own mom's had a Medicare Advantage plan for years now, since she's been on Medicare for 6 years. She's had surgeries like 4 since she's lived in Tennessee, all on Medicare. Has it been seamless? Usually, yeah. Sometimes it's a little bit of a rigmarole. But here's the thing. If you don't have a big income and you can't afford a Medicare supplement and a drug plan and then have to cover your own dental, vision, hearing, I mean, if you don't mind a network, because guess what? People who work, we've been dealing with networks all our lives. I mean, I have crappy insurance, Steve-O. I would gladly trade what I have today for any Medicare, the worst Medicare Advantage plan.
Yes.
It might be based here in Tampa. Look it up. It starts with a W, ends in an E. Even if I had that Advantage plan, that is way better than any major medical plan I've ever had. But the people giving you that advice, I know I sound like I'm crazy, but the people giving you that advice are looking out for themselves. They're not necessarily looking out for you. Now, if an agent explains to you the limitations and how an Advantage plan works, and you're good with that, then it is a great way to be covered for a medical plan. Honest to God. Now, I call Medicare and a supplement, I call that no muss, no fuss insurance, because basically Medicare pays, supplement pays after that. That is awesome. But not everybody can afford that. But some people, they want extra benefits. Some people only want to pay money in the form of a copay if they use it. For people like that, I think Medicare Advantage is excellent. So I'm going to get off my soapbox. I know we got to be running low on time.
Well, Randy, I got to tell you, my girlfriend said you got to do Medicare because you don't want them to choose your doctors for you. And I said, you know what? I really don't care. I've had 3 specialists who were all part of the group. And Randy, every one of them have been incredible.
There you go. So here in Nashville, where I live, we've got Vanderbilt, we've got Ascension St. Thomas, we've got HCA, and Medicare Advantage, depending on the plan, they take all of them or most of them. So if I'm looking up a person's doctors and drugs and they're covered by that plan, I say try it.
Well, I got to. We probably have 50 more questions, and I'm looking at. I don't know if this will mean anything to you, but I'm looking at TikTok's likes, 3.7K. I think that's 3,700. I believe
no way.
I'm
talking about Medicare here. I'm not doing anything fun. I'm not talking about gambling.
You know what? People are getting ready to go on Medicare. People have family members that are getting ready to go on Medicare, and they don't even know about enrollment. And that's what's so great about a show like this. Tell people how they can reach you, Randy.
The number one way to reach me is by phone or text, and that's 615-578-5174. If you're shy and you don't like the direct approach, you could always email me at randywhall@yahoo.com. That's been my email since I've been in college. I have a professional one, but it's not as reliable as my OG email from college, believe it or not. And if you want to learn more about me, I write articles and stuff. There's a website there at the bottom of the page scrolling by, MrNiceGuyMedicareAdvisor.com. If you just want to learn my thoughts on things or see what I look like, I guess you can see me. They got pictures of my family who were kind enough to leave for an hour while I did this. I told my son he could come on here with me, but I think his mom. I don't know.
You actually had a friend of yours on with us before.
There you go. No, I tried to bring my son Wiley on the air, but his mom's like, no, he's not going on there. I tried audience, but if you want to see my family, they're online there, and you can check us out. The way that I am on this show is how I am in real life. I do not put on airs. I'm not impressed by people who do. I'm a real guy. And when it comes to Medicare, I try to explain it in a way that anybody can understand.
And remember, It doesn't cost you anything. You're
No
not going to have to
obligation.
write Randy a check. Randy's with us every month. He doesn't even know I'm going to be replaying the show next week because it is so important. Randy, enjoy your vacation. We love having you on. You're such a great expert.
Well, you make me look good, Steve-O, and you made my day today.
Give your mom that credit.
All right, I will. She'll be happy to hear it. Take care.
Travel safe, bro. That's Randy Hall, Mr. Independent Medicare broker. He's Mr. Nice Guy. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back with more.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.